Uh, Thank you very much, Dinesh, for inviting me here. There is a small correction. When you said I am the head of planning and technical of Vassal, I am ex-head of planning and technical Vassal. I am not working with Vassal anymore. So, thank you very much, Dinesh, for welcoming me for this webinar. And I thank Emeril for conducting this sustainability week every year, which shows its commitment to the environment and also to the society, to the employees, and also the awareness that is required to be brought among the employees. So I really congratulate Embril and I thank Embril for inviting me again for this. Last time when I came, when I met all of you, I spoke about two things. One is global warming, and second was about the recycling as well. Just to recap, in the recycling, I spoke about four things broadly. That is, one is what is recycling, second is why do we need recycling, the third was about what can be recycled, and the fourth one was about what are the benefits of recycling. Now, I gave a lot of examples also that time, which were from different countries, from India, from US, from China, and other places. So sometimes, probably some of you might think that I am coming again to speak about recycling. So whether I have recycled my same thoughts and I'm going to present it like the same product in a new container. So just to clarify that, no, this is totally a different content that I have come here now today with. So uh, thank you very much, and I look forward that we have a great interaction today. Today we will be more focusing on the local things, that is what we can do in UAE, what is happening in UAE in terms of recycling. So this is going to be my focus today. So before we get on with the real subject, let us first understand what exactly is the problem. And just for those of you who have missed seeing my earlier session, and if you find it interesting, you can always ask Dinesh. I am sure he has recorded it and he is recording this as well. And there is a link that he can give you, or else that session has been uploaded by me on my YouTube channel. So any one of you can always go and look at the YouTube channel. You will find that there. Okay, coming to today's session now, I'm going to take only 15 minutes. That is the time allotted to me. So I will not bore you, hopefully. I will give you some valuable insights on this. So now actually, what is the extent of the waste generation is the first point. When you say recycle, recycling is something of an item or a product which has been wasted, which is waste. Now its life has been over. So only then you can recycle it. So the extent of the need or the crisis of recycling, if we want to really know, then let us look at one or two small numbers and you will get the idea of exactly what is the problem or the extent, the magnitude of the problem here. Now, in UAE, we generate around 12 million tons of waste every year. 12 million tons of waste every year, which means the population of UAE is around 10 million. All of you know that. So, which means all of us are generating around 1 ton of waste every year, which is around 3 kgs or 3.5 kgs of waste every day, every single day. Now these figures are alarming, and these figures are among one of the highest per capita waste collection or waste generation in the world. So this is an issue and this needs to be tackled too. So this is the first point. Now in this, if we really break down, there are many things like plastic is there, which is around 150 million tons, and then there is municipal waste which is there. Interestingly, the construction waste, the construction debris and the waste and all that, actually in 2012, 2013 and in those years, that used to be around 80% of this entire waste that is generated. And now it has come down to around 30, 35% or 40%. There is another 30, 35% of the commercial and the industrial segment that has gradually grown up and gone up because of the industrial activities that are slightly picking up here in this region. And the municipal waste and the solid waste that is all coming, that is around less than around 30%. So this is the thing. Now when you talk about these numbers, definitely this is not something which is a problem created by one person. This is a problem created by all of us together. I mean, this is like a team. I mean, everyone has been contributing to this in a different measure. So obviously the solution for this also cannot be found by one person. I mean, no one person can say, that, okay, I will do something and I will solve this problem. I will do the recycling and I will, really make the environment better. No, it is a collective effort. It's an effort collectively, and that is why Emerils, these kind of initiatives of conducting a sustainability week are very important, because they bring awareness. And for recycling, the first step for the waste avoiding, waste elimination and the recycling and all is about the awareness, because a lot of people are today not even aware of what exactly is the waste generation, what is the issue, how critical is the issue, and all those details, and how to do the recycling. So that is why I thought today we can focus more on the local things, how you can contribute into the recycling as an individual and as a company. As Ebril, of course, Ebril has got a lot of think tank, the big think tank. I am too small a person to say anything to Ebril, but I can give some suggestions which can be applicable wherever. So let us start with the basics now, one by one. First is, whenever you want to do any such kind of activity of recycling or waste analysis, waste elimination and all that, first thing is an audit. That is, first thing you have to know is that how much waste is being generated and from which source it is being generated. Without these two information, you cannot do anything about the waste. Waste is going to be there, by the way. I mean, you cannot eliminate the waste totally. Waste will be there. Just to give you one more example about the crisis of this waste, that is one important point, before we move forward. For example, all of us in our kitchen sinks in our house, below the kitchen sink we have a dustbin, a garbage bin, right, in which we put all the vegetable waste and all the whatever. Now that bin gets filled up almost every day. I mean, after doing breakfast, lunch, dinner and all, things keep piling up there, and the maid or you yourself, one of you, the family members, goes and empties it into the garbage, the garbage chute which is there in the building, and from there it collects into the garbage skip, and then it goes into the waste landfills. Now imagine for a day that this bin is not emptied. What will happen? It will get filled. The next day it will get slightly start overfilling. The third day it will be, there will be stinking. I mean, there might be flies there, there might be maybe germs forming there, and it will smell like a hell. It will be very bad smelling, because there will be tea powders or tea bags will be there. When you squeeze lemon for your some food item, that lemon will be there. Leftover vegetables will be there, leftover food will be there, all these things. And imagine it keeps piling. Now extrapolate it to the larger scale. For example, say in one of the residential buildings that you are managing, if the skip is not being emptied on a daily basis by the Dubai municipality truck, that bin will overflow, that garbage. Yeah, hello, is it anyone to say something to me? Okay, sorry. Okay, so imagine, I am audible, right, Judy? Okay, thank you so much. Yes. Okay, so imagine if the garbage skip gets filled up, if the garbage room gets filled up, it starts overflowing. There will be a lot of customer complaints. You can't really manage. And now think of a much larger scale, that is the globe, the earth, the planet on which we are living. Every day, thousands of tons of garbage is being put into something called landfills. Now, unfortunately, there is no Dubai municipality truck or any truck taking from the landfill to anywhere else. It will remain there, and this is the problem. Now imagine when you thought that in the house, if you are not able to empty it, what are problems are there? Within 3 days we'll have a problem. But imagine on this earth, we are day in and day out, we are dumping tons and tons of waste, and that is getting filled. That is called landfill. That all we discussed in the first session that we had last year on this. So I just want to refresh you to the idea of the importance of the recycling and the waste elimination. So this is a critical problem. So to avoid this, minimize this, what we can do is that we can slowly start reducing the waste generation so that the problem can be delayed. You cannot avoid it, but you can at least stretch it further. So this is the requirement. So audit is the first point. Second is the simple steps as the reduce, reuse and recycle. This is what is the normal, all the slogans and posters and everywhere it is written. So reduce your consumption, reuse, and this is being actually honestly being done in different measures, in different fields, in different scale by different people. For example, in office, all the people, they use the used envelopes to send the internal communication from one person to another person. And then they use the white papers which are being wrongly printed for something. They will use the backside of it for making some kind of a notes or correction, and these are all good habits. These are all very good habits, and you need to do that. If you are not doing it, kindly please, one should start doing it right now. So these are there, and then the recycling comes. But before the reduce, reuse and recycle, there is one more after reduce and reuse, that is called donate. Now this important factor is normally overlooked by many people. Now donate is what? Donate is, like when something is waste for you. For example, you brought you bought kids. I mean, the toys for your kids. You don't buy kids. You bought toys for your kids, and your children have grown up. Now the toy will remain, in a one corner of the room or in a box or somewhere, and it is a waste material for you. Do you play with that toy? Does your child play with that toy? Never, never. In that case, what happens? It just gathers dust and it will be occupying space, and it is a waste material for you. Now what happens? I mean, instead of just keeping it like this, instead of keeping the old books that you have in your house, there is something called a donate. And if you start donating whatever an item, in broad sense, you donate an item whose utility is over in your context, and then somebody else might start using it. There are many people who are deprived in this world, and there are some specific examples I'm going to give now within UAE, within Dubai, where you can donate your day-to-day normal items which are useful to you at one time, and you will also lose its utility over a period of time. So let's go to 3 examples. The first one example is the books. All of us have books in our home. We are all avid readers. Some of us are readers. I am a writer also. So when you read a book, what do you do with that? Maybe there are some books are there which can be worth read again and again and again. But say the school books, if your child has graduated from 5th standard to the 6th grade he goes, what do you do with the 5th grade books? And I'm sure if you go back to your homes and open the shelves and the cupboards and all that, you will find some old books, old notebooks, which probably may not be required ever in your life, unless there is some historical importance, like there are many ticks are there, many very goods are there, your child would want to keep it. But in general, I am sure there will be a lot of books or old books, notebooks or whatsoever that will be there which are not useful, particularly the story books or the textbooks or whatever. So there is a library called the Old Library. I am taking certain names now in the next 10 minutes. Please do not think that I am canvassing for them or I am promoting them. It's only reference that I am giving to you. You may do your own search, your own validation, your own authentication, and then proceed with your donation if you are doing. But these people, these companies have been accepting donations earlier, pre-pandemic. I mean, pandemic has really changed the world totally. So some of the companies, unfortunately, I am not updated with what their status is today, but they were actively indulging in these activities, what I'm going to say right now. So there is a library called the Old Library. You can look into Google, find its addresses. Maybe they have branches also, and they collect old books. So when you donate old books, you feel satisfaction. See, in some corner of world, somewhere, some child will be reading a book and he will be greatly fancied by that. So instead of rotting that book and keeping it there and occupying space in your house, it's always better to donate the books. There is another company called Rags to Riches. Rags to Riches. It's a Facebook group. You can go to Facebook and search Rags to Riches. And what they do is that they take all the old bed sheets, pillow covers, blankets, leftover clothes, and they make the clothes for the needy people from this. Now it's such a noble initiative, such a noble drive by this group of people, whoever are there. So you have definitely old bed sheets, the clothes which normally in Dubai we are all happy. So our size keeps growing. I mean, unless somebody makes really efforts to keep himself fit. But then your clothes will be, even otherwise your clothes will have a shelf life. So once your clothes are old, your bed sheets are old, pillows and all these waste clothes, instead of just throwing them in the garbage, remember, whenever you throw something in your dustbin and garbage bin, it goes into the landfill. Somewhere it is rotting and it is damaging the universe. So instead of that, give it to somebody. You are not, you cannot destroy that thing. It will remain exist, but it will remain gainfully used by somebody else who is needy of that particular item. So Rags to Riches is a Facebook group which takes old clothes and bed sheets and pillows and everything. Medicines. This is one important thing. What you do with the medicines? For example, you fall sick, for example. I hope nobody falls sick, but it happens. And then you go to a doctor and he prescribes you 2 or 3 medicines. Now these medicines, normally the tablets, they come in strips of 10 and 20 maybe sometimes. And maybe after 4 or 5 or 6, you are well, you are fine. So you don't take that. So definitely you will have some leftover strips with 8 tablets, 10 tablets, maybe 2 tablets, and they will remain there till the expiry period. And one day suddenly you feel like, oh my god, there are so many medicines here. You find out whichever is expiry and then you throw it away. Why should you do that? Is it not waste? There are some people in the world who really need medicines. They don't have money to buy them. So with this noble thought, there are 2 places. The DHA, the Dubai Health Authority, has got a list of hospitals and pharmacies. You can go to their website and then verify on them. They take the unused and even expired medicines also, because they dispose them of in a safe conditions. So the unused medicines particularly, they donate it to the different parts of the different people, maybe around some countries around us, and to the needy people they give it. So do that also, because it's you get blessings of people, you feel happy that you are contributing something to doing the waste elimination, recycling of the old medicines, which is actually waste. For you don't take medicine just because it is there in your house. When you are well, you don't take medicine. Nobody would take that, right? Spectacles, I wear specs. I know maybe some of you also wear specs. What do you do? Sometimes your number changes. Sometimes the company pays the insurance, so people take specs every year, 2 years or 3 years they take. So what do you do with the old specs? Sometimes it is not, it is broken, there is a scratch, and you take another one. What do you do? It lies in one shelf. It is occupying space, and it will never be used again till one day suddenly you throw it away. So there are two opticians, Yatim opticians and Al Jaber opticians, who take the specs in whichever form, whichever condition, with scratch, without scratch, with a crack on the frame, with broken or whatsoever, and they donate it to the people, needy people who come to them for that. So this is also another noble initiative which you can indulge in. There is a company called Take My Junk. It's a literally Take My Junk. And what they do is, when you have bulk of items, you just call them, and you can search their contact details on the Google, and they will come, and they donate it to the charities, and they recycle the items whatever are there. Their tagline is very important, very nice, very attractive, and very deep meaningful. It says, "One man's junk is another man's treasure." How true it is. So something which is not useful to you, you call it junk, but there are people who want it, and they find it as a treasure. They cannot afford to buy that. Maybe you are having luxuries, but people are deprived of even the basic amenities. So Take My Junk is one more name which you can search for. There is another company called Toys with Wings. These are all I'm talking about in Dubai and UAE. They are not somewhere outside, or they are not fancy names. They existed once with all, after pandemic, I'm not sure, kindly but verify. Maybe I'm sure some of them, hopefully they will be there. Now Toys with Wings is another company. They donate toys. So as we spoke about the toys earlier, the case of toys. Now they distribute that, they take the toys from you, and they give it to the different children who are underprivileged and all that. And as of record, as we are speaking today, they have distributed over 400,000 toys in 14 different countries. So this is their record. It's such a great initiative that they have taken up. On a lighter vein, in fact, a few years back, now this what I'm going to say is not existing now, but there was something called Donate Your Hair. That was also there. It happened for some time, I think. Now it is closed, of course, but in Emirates Towers, there was a company which came up, because they said the chemotherapy patients, I think they lose hair, and the wigs for them and all, for a noble cause. So they said anybody can come and donate the hair, and they have had some specification. They said, your hair should be 20 centimeter long, it should not be with dyes or chemicals or whatever, and the haircut is free. That was the incentive that they gave for people to take part in this initiative. Now these are all about the donations, donating the items that I said. Now there is something recycling. There are some companies who actively take part in the recycling also, and you can contribute in that. Now batteries. All of you have batteries in your home, right? That is the clock, the watch batteries, the wall clock batteries, and different items that you have, the remote. And these batteries, they get over, and what you do is you throw it in the dustbin, under the sink or whatsoever. So they actually have a lot of the chemicals and the lithium and whatnot, all these electrolytes and all these things. So it's not actually safe to put them into the landfill, because it goes into the landfill. As I explained earlier, everything that you put there finally reaches there eventually. So you will find in every Spinneys and Virginia stores, there are certain places where you can dump your old batteries, and they will dispose them off in a safe manner. So it's a noble initiative. Next time you can think of this. Union Paper Mills. This is one company which is existing in UAE, which they provide free bins to all the corporates and the offices, commercial offices, and they collect the waste paper. So instead of you shredding the waste paper or throwing it away in the garbage and all that paper, every paper, you have to cut tree somewhere to get the paper that you have in your hand. So they collect the papers. Union Paper Mills, they arrange complete end-to-end collection. That means once on a corporate level, when you talk to them, they come, they study, they put the bins, they collect it. They will not charge you anything for this. And the only satisfaction that you have is that you have disposed the papers in a very safe and secure manner, which is for the environment. Next is all the e-waste. I'm sure all of you have a lot of e-waste. And what is e-waste? E-waste is when you change your mobile phone, your charger changes. You know, your charger, sometimes the charger has got a thick pin, a thin pin, a flat kind of connector. You change your mobiles also, you change remote controls. There is a lot of e-waste is there, I know, you know. So these kind of, all the e-waste is taken by a company called EnviroServe. Search for in Google and you will get that, and they collect all your e-waste and dispose it off in a very safe manner. Lastly, there is a company called Blue LLC which use the cooking oil. So probably this will be, you know, more useful in communities where all people can collectively collect the used oil and then give it to them, or restaurants and hotels and all that. So this is also one company. Now there is one player. Last 2 points I'm going to make now. Emirates Environmental Group. All of you must have heard about the name of this EEG, and they are one of the leading players of sustainability and the recycling initiatives within UAE and Dubai. And they are available for all of us. In fact, they keep searching for you know, such kind of volunteers and people who are interested in participating in their efforts. So they have been doing this recycling, the real authentic recycling, for some time now. So there are 4 or 5 probably the exact statistics that what they have done so far. They have recycled 2,500 tons of glass. The glass, you know, the glass from which you drink water, or the glass material, the item glass. Now glass is something which can be recycled infinitely. I mean, glass is one that is a good quality of glass, you know, the one which breaks and there is a mirror and all this. So it can be recycled easily. The point is, for making the glass, actually there are calcium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate, there are 3-4 items which are from the mining. They have to extract that and make a glass. So imagine, if you are recycling the glass, you are saving that kind of material and the energy which has gone in extracting those items, manufacturing that, processing that, and making you a glass for that. So if you recycle, are you not really protecting the earth's precious resources? So this is one thing. Mobile phones, very favorite topic. Everyone, all of us are fancy now. Earlier, having one mobile phone was something good. Now 2 is a standard, 3 is a luxury. For some people, even 3 phones, so they have another phone in their another pocket, 4 phones also. So this, we don't know where it is going to end. But every mobile phone's life is generally 2 years to 3 years. After 3 years, it will not listen to you. When you want to speak, its battery will be over, its range will not be there, and you know, all this kind of problems will be there. So what you do, you throw away that. You take a new mobile, a fancy mobile. And what happens to the old mobile? It will be lying in some drawer, or maybe it is thrown away. But you know what? Each mobile which goes into the landfills has got the potential to pollute around 40,000 gallons of the groundwater. Why? Because mobile contains gold, silver, palladium, copper. These are all the items that are material are there into the different components of the mobile phone. So this Emirates Environmental Group, they recycle and then they dispose it off, and they have done so far 68,346 mobiles till last month. They have recycled safely. So this is one of their good achievements. Then the paper is made from wood by cutting the trees. So EEG has, so far they have recycled 19.8 million tons of paper, which is a very good thing. The recycle means they recycle, they make another paper which is a recycled paper, and it is used again and again, by which more trees are prevented from being cut. This is the benefit of recycling. Plastic is a favorite topic. People can go on for hours together talking about the bad effects of plastic, which we talked earlier also. And but the funny thing is, all types of plastic cannot be recycled. Some plastic can be recycled, some cannot be. This EEG has recycled around 1,200 tons of plastic as of date. Toners, the printer toners, every regular usage in the corporate offices or in the house also, we have toners which get exhausted, and what we do, we throw it away. But toner has got harmful toxic substances, and the good part of toner is that a toner which is properly disposed, I mean recycling, if it is given for recycling, it can be recycled up to 7 times. That is the potential of recycling the toners. And Emirates Environment Group have recycled 108,000 pieces of toners as of now. Aluminium cans, this is slowly another menace, particularly in this part of the world, in the Middle East and all that. The good part is that aluminium cans are 100% recyclable. It can be recycled 100%, no problem at all. And these statistics will definitely blow you. 95% less energy is required to recycle a can than to make a new can. So when you drink the soft drinks or the whatever, the Coke and Pepsi and all that, the cans, if you have to make a new can, for example, if you have to spend 100 units of energy for making recycling the can, you spend only 5 units of energy. So that is the difference in recycling. And unfortunately, in UAE, the consumption of cans is very high. One's estimate says that in UAE, there are over 500 million cans sold every year. And unfortunately, 93% of them go into the landfills. They are not really recycled. Only around 345 tons have been recycled so far. So this is one. Now coming to my last point of today's this session, there is a website called Sustainability Tribe. It's a one word called sustainabilitytribe.com, and this is started by a lady called Amruta Kshema Kalyani. She's from India. She's one of the passionate activists for the environment protection, sustainability and all that. And for the last 12 years, she has been dedicatedly working in this field, and she has done tremendous achievements. I mean, so many megawatts of energy saved, water saved and all that. But what is interesting is that her company, I mean, it's a small company, non-profitable company and all that. She gives consultancy. She would love to come to you as an individual or as a company and, get ideas from her, what you can do, how you can recycle and all that. And she has given many kind of ideas. On that website also, it is very clearly given. One thing I would like to say, what you can, from that website which appealed to me, which I would like to definitely say and then close my talk here, is about the composting. Now composting is, you have in our kitchen, we have all the daily the organic waste. We call it as wet waste. In India it is called wet waste and dry waste, or that is the organic waste which is out of the food items. Now some people might say, I don't have any food left over. I use exactly all the food. I don't have any waste. That is wrong. You still have. You use tea bags or you boil tea, that tea powder will be there. You use the lemons, you squeeze lemon. You can't eat lemon totally. Some vegetables you cut and some portion will be there in that. So these are all the items that will be invariably there. When you get spinach, you can't eat all the spinach. You have to cut some portion of it, and now these all are very precious from the composting perspective. You don't need to buy anything. And in that site of the sustainabilitytribe.com, she has shown how to set up a small composting plant in your own house. So you can just set up all these things, the leftover food items, just put it into that. There is a simple process she explains, and then you get a beautiful compost or fertilizer. In simple, but it's a fertilizer. And you can set up a small garden in your balcony. And what all you can grow into your balcony? You can grow tomato, cucumber, beans, eggplant, carrot. Why not? And you have a satisfaction that no, you can say the pesticide has been used into this, because you yourself are the controlling part of that. There is no any adverse thing. It's a purely organic thing. And you have the satisfaction, and overall you save money also. So why not you try that also? So these are all the ideas for today about sustainability, about the waste reduction, about the recycling opportunities, the case studies, as I mentioned, what all has been happening here, and the names I mentioned, all of them. Please, as I say again, that I am not recommending or promoting any of them. They were just to give you examples of what has happened, what can happen, and how you as an individual or as a company can contribute into this. So this is what I just wanted to say. Thank you, Dinesh. Thank you once again for calling me for this session. Over to you. Thank you so much.